Alright, hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato class guide. This time we're covering the Old. I like this character a lot because it provides sort of a unique experience compared to the other characters because the map is different. It's a smaller map, which means that you have to be much more on point with your dodging, with your positioning against elites, and so on. It also enables a couple cool strategies, one of which we're going to be using. So how this character works is you get minus 10% speed, which is a huge penalty, obviously, and minus 10% enemies, which if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I think is an enormous penalty. However, you're playing on a 33% smaller map, so the minus 10% enemies is less severe for this character than it would be for other characters, because the enemies are more concentrated, allowing you to kill them faster. You also have plus 10 harvesting and minus 25% enemy speed, which makes it a little easier for you to react if the enemies are all packed in tightly together, which of course they are, and the harvesting is a nice bonus that smooths out your economy, kind of mitigates the loss of enemies a little bit. I think there's a couple directions you can go with this character, but the one that I enjoy the most and that I think is cool and uses the unique strengths of the character the most is going for an engineering build, so we're going to go with the wrench, because given that the map is really small, and you can see how small it is, the enemies are all going to be clustered together, which will allow our turrets to hit more things at a time. Staying on the opposite side of the map from my turret to allow it to hit things that I'm not killing myself. Make sure to pick up all this money. And notice our 10 harvesting ticking. Here we'll grab engineering, of course, because if we're going in engineering build, we need that. And then I'm going to lock in this Lost Duck. I think getting a bunch of luck up early is really good. Consumable healing is also at its best on this character, or improved on this character compared to other characters, because all the consumables are going to spawn in one place. So let's roll and grab a wrench, and roll. We are looking for more wrenches. No wrenches, but turret, great find here, and we'll grab another wrench. Didn't get to roll, so we'd have liked to be able to lock a fourth wrench there, but having locked a turret is kind of essentially the same thing. In these early waves, when our turrets clear enemies by themselves, we can play away from our turrets and let them kill stuff that we wouldn't otherwise kill, and that can clear the waves a little faster for us. And notice, because this map is so small, we are able to have our turrets constantly shooting, whereas another character would have those turrets scattered all over the place. Here I'm just going to improve my harvesting. Getting that up early is really good, and more engineering. Let's roll for some more wrenches. Found one, and I have a choice here. I could re-roll looking for another wrench to lock. I could also just buy the turret. We would have loved to have one more material that would allow us to do both, so the fact that I missed picking up some of the materials is costing us just a little bit here. I think what I'm going to do actually is buy the turret, and then we're guaranteed to see at least one weapon in this next shop, so this gives us 3 shots at seeing a wrench, and also more shots at seeing the turret in the shop. Wrench is more likely to come up than turret later, so getting that back in the shop pool I think is going to be more valuable for us. It also kind of spends our money a little better, so it's overall fairly efficient. Just gonna play over here for a second just so I can pick up the materials. Let my turret clear the tree for me. Whenever you're going in engineering build, you should really look out for additional trees and lumberjack shirt, because that enables the combo with Pocket Factory, which is a super powerful addition to any engineering build. Here I'll grab plus 4 HP regeneration. That's going to be our main healing, and so that's really nice to grab. And we will pick up this duck and roll for more turrets. Nothing here that we want. Coffee is still actually worth considering on this character, just because it's such an efficient item, but I think I'm going to skip right now because we're still very much looking for additional wrenches. Here, though, I'm going to lock in the metal detector, and I'm actually going to lock in the little frog. I think it's early enough that it's worth picking that up, and that will improve our harvesting to the point where it's gaining 2 per level faster. And while we do, of course, want to be building dodge on this character, what we mostly want to be doing is not getting hit, so the minus dodge, I think, is something that we can mitigate. Since we're getting this item quite early, the 10 harvesting will pay for itself. very rapidly. Pickup range also is always worth picking up on this character, no pun intended, because it will enable you to use your consumable healing more. 18 harvesting, so it's up to 19 here. Here's another item that's really good in any engineering build. We'll of course want to repair our speed, but the Ugly Tooth, this effect is applied by your turrets, so it can slow the enemies down significantly. Here we have a choice between more luck, more engineering, and more speed. At this point I'm going to go a little more engineering, but we will want to start getting speed very soon, before wave 12, when some elites begin to appear. Let's definitely pick this up, and definitely this, and then we have exactly enough to get a wrench, so that worked out very well. Our harvesting is up to 29 already, and we have a metal detector, which is great for every character, but even better for us, of course, because we actually use the engineering. You can watch all the enemies sort of slowing down, so they have the natural minus speed from the old, and then the additional minus speed from the Ugly Tooth. Try to punch that loot alien back into all of our turrets, because the wrenches have significant knockback. This is one of the characters on which knockback isn't a massive disadvantage, since we don't actually need enemies near us to do the damage. Leather vest, great item, of course. We'll take that on anybody. And here, I'm actually just going to grab this 3% speed rather than rolling for something better. We do definitely need speed. And here, I'm going to... This is actually a pretty interesting shop as well. We could take 9% dodge, start building our dodge up. We could also just take more engineering. I think at this point, I'm actually pretty happy to start building my dodge up, and that's a level 3, so that's pretty nice. Wow, more harvesting? Sure, I'll just keep taking harvesting. Here we finally got our 6th wrench, which is great, and landmines are okay. They're not the best way to use your engineering, but they're still worth taking, I think, on any engineering build. And again, this character has all the enemies concentrated, so the landmines are more likely to hit multiple enemies. A second turret is incredible. And let's throw in one more reroll, see if we can get anything that we want to lock. Yes, we in fact found 3 things we want to lock. Let's go. So one of the sub-goals when you're playing an engineering build is to minimize the number of level 2 turrets that you have on the field. They're the worst turret, and they also don't stack with each other, because the burning effect can't be multiply applied to the same enemy. So if you have multiple level 2 turrets, you end up losing out on damage. So whenever we level up one of our wrenches to level 2, we're going to attempt to combine other level 2 wrenches and make sure that we have only one, ideally 0, but 1 maximum level 2 turrets on the field at a time. Definitely going to need to start picking up a little bit of additional healing and maximum HP. So let's see what we can get from this. I will take the plus explosion damage. We have landmines already, and the level 4 turrets use explosions. And here, I guess we'll just continue to take the level 3 dodge. Here I'm actually going to... Oh, there is engineering. I was thinking of just taking 3 max HP, but I think engineering's too important to pass up on. Here we'll combine, so we will take 1 level 2 turret and then grab the wrench. And I'm going to take Gentle Alien as well. And then we'll leave these 2 locked. Level 3 turret spawns a laser. So something else to keep in mind on engineering builds is that piercing damage and explosion damage, you have weapons that naturally do both. So if you see pumpkin to increase your piercing damage, if you see additional explosion damage like we took, or especially explosion radius, you should definitely pick those up because you already have weapons that use those stats. Just running around trying to kite these large aliens through my turrets, get them killed. Again, since we don't have to actually DPS things, it's good for us to let the egg aliens spawn in this wave because we have turrets killing them for us, and they drop additional money if you let them spawn rather than killing the eggs. We don't have a ton of control over that, because if the egg spawns next to a turret, it's of course just going to die, but when we can, we want to let them spawn. Piggy bank is a really cool item to pick up for free, so now we're going to try to leave like 100 in our bank just to have these materials have that income, and that will pay for itself in a couple waves, so that's pretty nice. And a coupon, of course, always great. Here I'm going to take this 9% speed, that almost repairs our speed, and here, so like I talked about, we want to make sure that we have fewer level 2 turrets, so I'm just going to buy this and end up with 2 level 3s and 4 level 1s rather than level 2s. On normal items, you would do it the other way around. Lost Duck and Leather Vest, both great, and I will not lock the Wandering Bot, although we would buy it, but here I'm going to not spend any more to trigger our piggy bank. I like the theming of this one because we're like an old guy covering his little plot of land with turrets. Got my pension in the bank. It's some real boomer energy. Max HP is definitely troubling at this point. Trying to play in around my turrets mostly to allow them to kill as many things as they can. Would love to see Pocket Factory, additional trees as well. Plus damage for minus range. I'll actually take this over just having 12 materials because even though we don't use the damage mostly, there are a few effects that we can get that will use percentage damage, so we'll use that. And of course we're going to recycle that because we don't want it. Here I'm going to roll, try to find something a little bit better, and yeah, we'll take 3 engineering. And great find for us, this acid. Even though we are trying to build our dodge up, our max HP is such a disaster right now that acid is very important. We'll take the wrench, and also Cute Monkey, especially good on this character again because it gives you additional, it's so much easier to pick up items. So we'll grab that. I'm going to roll. It's going to depend on whether there's something I want here, whether I will purchase or just let the piggy bank go. But of course we found something that works really well, so we're just going to grab the Pocket Factory. And I'd actually like to pick up this wrench as well. So we will end up with 2 level 2 turrets for a little bit, but what can you do? Important to get our wrenches built up to higher levels. And Pocket Factory, of course, a critical item. So Piggy Bank, not providing us any bonus this round, but it was free to pick up, so it ends up being just a little bit of extra money over the course of the game anyways, even if we don't specifically build for it. I think we could have recycled, excuse me, I think we could have recycled it for 30 or something. At the time, I didn't check exactly how much it was recycling for. So it's already given us that back, and we'll continue to accrue value over the wave with it. Loot Alien, great find there. And you can see that we are spawning additional turrets from our Pocket Factory, which means that our DPS actually increases over the course of the wave. Oh, die, Loot Alien, die! Yes! Alright. Here, we're definitely taking Finn, even though we don't really use the lifesteal. Plus 10% speed is going to be incredible for us. Finn is just a super important item to have in your shop as well. This is one of the most efficient items in the game. Alien Tongue is great, because like we said, we have the Cute Monkey and all that, so we'll take that. Lifesteal for minus harvesting, I don't think we're taking. The lifesteal isn't terrible, but we do want to build our harvesting up, and we will continue to take more max HP from the acid. Here, I'm just going to take 6 max HP. I'd love to get that to 50 or so before we have to face an enemy, and I'm going to take the plus 4 HP regeneration. Once we get this to about 1 a second, it starts being more or less where we want it. Let's grab this coupon, and then we're going to combine these two and buy a level 1 wrench. Get us a leather vest as well. Dangerous Bunny, of course, a great pickup on every character, and we'll pick up Broken Mouth, and we'll reroll. Here, I could take this beanie, and in fact I will. Now our speed is actually quite good, and I'm just going to sit on 200 and get 40 from the piggy bank here. Because I feel like we're going to be able to clear this wave no problem. Our damage is well set up, so anytime we feel like that, we can just get a couple extra bucks from our piggy bank. Also on theme and very good for this character, I think another build you should definitely consider is just shotguns, because filling this tiny arena with the shotgun pellets is going to make sure that they're hitting stuff all the time. The usual problem with shotguns is that the spread is so high that they aren't always hitting something, because it's going to go past the enemies and not hit them. But on this arena, there's pretty much always something wherever you point a weapon, so the shotgun is going to work out very well. Finding 2 turrets and the pocket factory is definitely great for where we're at in this character. Here I'm just going to grab a little more engineering. We're no longer desperate for maximum HP. And I could actually continue to improve harvesting, but I think I want a little more armor. Armor is going to be really good here. We can get more health regeneration in a little bit, but for now, armor is going to serve us very well. Grab this wrench and dynamite. Roll again. Garden, another item that is really good because you're always going to be near the garden. So let's pick that up. I am not interested in Blood Leech. I think the -4 harvesting and the cost is too expensive for 2 HP regen. We can do better than that. We're going into wave 11 and the elite's not till wave 12, so I'm happy to take bait. If we were going into the elite wave, I might lock the bait and wait a wave. And then here we get to upgrade our wrenches again, or actually sort of downgrade our wrenches, but that's okay. And fertilizer is still really good at this point in the game. It's going to pay for itself really quickly. Propeller hat is great, of course. Let's roll one more time. And Tyler, another really important item for the engineering build, so we're going to grab that. And I'm just going to sit on 140 going into wave 11. That'll give us a decent amount from the piggy bank, which has already given us 70 materials. Now we can kind of play around the Tyler. Let it clear the bait aliens out for us. One thing that this build is missing is more consumable healing. We may or may not actually be able to kill the elite next wave. In fact, we're probably unlikely to, because engineering builds struggle to do that. So if we can just get a little more healing, a little more max HP, and so on, before we have to fight the elite, I'll feel more comfortable. So we may end up just dodging around the entire wave. Our increased luck is definitely serving us well. You can see there's a lot of consumables on the ground. Still making sure to pick up materials as we go as well. Even more important now that we have a piggy bank, since they can give us the compound interest. Again, I will take the head injury. We don't really care about losing range at all. And plus luck here, that will get us over 40, which around 40 or 50 by wave 11 starts getting you higher level items in the shops, which I think is really nice to have access to. And weird food is a perfect pickup here that improves our healing by a lot. Let's grab another dangerous bunny that will pay for itself very quickly. We can upgrade one of our wrenches, pick up a broken mouth, and pick up a plant. We're not going to worry about saving up for our piggy bank this wave because it's an elite. We just want to be able to kill it. We can, in fact, upgrade our wrench to level 4, which will be really nice here, so let's do that. I'm going to lock in this lure rather than try to make it work this round, but we will buy one more wrench. We are, unfortunately, on the 2 level 2 turrets, but I think that will be okay. I'm not going to be able to afford anything if I roll, so let's just go to wave 12. get in a little bit of extra damage just by punting it with my wrenches. Actually, the DPS that we're outputting on this boss is not terrible. I think we're going to be just short, but maybe if we can keep it in around our laser turrets and our explosive turret, we can make something happen to it. Get just a little bit of bonus damage by hitting it with wrenches as well. 30 seconds, yeah, it's still over halfway through the wave, so I don't think we're quite getting there. So I'm just going to focus on surviving. But by the time we get to our next elite, I think we should have the damage to be able to do this. Definitely just need to increase my engineering, get a couple more engineering items. There was a loot alien who didn't quite get hit there, but that's alright. And here we're going to grab some more dodge. Alright, we got another turret, that's great. And we'll take the lure, roll, see if we can get a little more engineering. Nothing there, but we did get lumberjack shirt. That's still worth picking up even quite late, because it means that our turrets will spend less time hitting trees and can trigger the pocket factory faster. Up to 4 laser turrets now, which is great as well. Sure, I'll take a gentle alien, we'll take a wrench, and even though we don't use the crit chance, I'll take the blindfold as well. And -6 luck for 4% speed. At this point, I don't think we need the terrified onion. So let's just go on into the next wave. Our speed is pretty good at this point, so I'm happy to just sit on plus 13%. Tree, I think, would be the single best item we could find. Or, I guess, ricochet or piercing shots would also be a huge boost to our damage. Explosion radius would be really nice as well. We could also find another Tyler. The item that increases your turret's attack speed based on your attack speed, improved tools, I think it's called, is, of course, another key item for engineering builds. We haven't built any attack speed, but if we find that item, we can start building attack speed, as it becomes quite efficient to pick up. Come on, kill the loot aliens. There we go. Good job, turrets. Yeah, I'll continue to take plus dodge. We're actually getting close to dodge capped, which is really nice. Let's recycle alien worm and not take that. Here, I am actually going to just take the small magazine over 30 materials, because like I said, we might want attack speed later, so we can grab that. And yeah, I'll continue to build us towards the dodge cap. Great. Another great shop for us. We can pick up another wrench, another lure, and I will take the mouse, and we'll take pencil as well, of course. Bloody Hand is pretty interesting. We would get additional damage, which would allow us to actually maybe deal some damage with our wrenches. I think it's not worth taking, though, because it would mean our HP regen is no longer an effective source of healing for us, so we'd be relying on our wrenches as lifesteal. I think we can do better. Here we go, an incendiary turret. And one thing I'm actually not certain of is whether Snake will spread the incendiary turret's effect. So, in the interest of science, I'm going to lock the snake and the propeller hat, and we'll just kind of see if that works. Now, we never want to hold a level 2 wrench, because we have an incendiary turret, naturally. We also have plus 30% explosive damage, so it's really good for us to get our explosive damage increased, or to get explosive turrets going. Level 4 turrets are going to be a huge damage boost for us because we have the explosive damage multiplier on them. Come on, turrets. Let's hit this loot alien. I'm trying to punt it back into the middle of my turrets. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I think it's still worth taking fertilizer, and here I will take 4% lifesteal. It's free, basically. Plus harvesting, we don't really want to take at this point. We can probably do better, either with something like max HP or just more engineering. I will take 20 luck, though, just because it's a level 4 upgrade. We will continue to upgrade these items, so let's combine and grab Snake, Propeller Hat, and Wrench level 2. Roll again, definitely taking a little more armor. That's pretty nice here. Scared Sausage, pretty interesting if we had acquired any kind of elemental damage, which you can sometimes incidentally get just by buying efficient items, but as is, we don't have it, so the turrets would apply this Scared Sausage burning effect, but it won't do enough damage to be worth grabbing. Here I'm going to pick up this cake, of course, get our max HP up, and I'll take Peaceful Bee as well. It has no downside, and the plus dodge is quite relevant. We can get dodge capped very shortly. Alright, this is a relatively easy, as I say that as I walk into its attacks, relatively easy elite for us because it just attacks on the ground, doesn't have any gimmicks, and won't chase us. So all we have to do is position to dodge its effects. Although I'm I'm walking into every single one, so I'm like talking shit about this elite and then just getting hit by everything. Luckily, we've built some defensive stats, so now I'm just going to be able to walk in a spiral. Don't have the damage to clear the elite here. So, unlucky that we're not picking up any legendaries from these 3 elite waves, at least so far. But if we can get a little more engineering going in future, we can maybe have the damage to kill the next one. Walking down into the middle of all the enemies just to pick up as many materials as I can as well. Definitely not taking barrier, and here I'm going to take some HP regen. Finally got something that improves our engineering, so this is an amazing shop for us as well. Let's buy all of it. Here I'm going to continue to buy more luck, and we'll buy more dodge. Roll again. Engineering for elemental damage. We don't have any elemental damage, so I don't think it's particularly worth picking up Strange Book at this point. Let's keep rolling. I will definitely take metal. And we will take cog because damage is something we're suffering from, but I'll also lock in plant because increasing our HP regen is very important. That was definitely a significant boost to our damage this last chop, so feeling good about that. I would love to get my max HP up just a little bit more. Somewhere around 100 is where I usually like to end. Makes you pretty comfortable against the bosses. But at this point, damage, max HP, and unique effects like piercing, bouncing shots, that kind of thing, are really good. I should also mention that the snail is an especially worthy item on this character because you already reduce enemy speed so much, so it's working well. Oh yeah, I meant to keep in mind, I'm watching if the incendiary turret is applying extra burning from the snake. It doesn't look like it is. So that snake may not have been worth picking up. Scared Sausage, I think, is worth grabbing if it's free, because it's only 18 materials that we're giving up here, and we'll take the 20 luck, of course. Potato, really nice. It doesn't give you engineering, but it gives you everything else that you want, and that will almost dodge cap us. Here, I'm just going to take 2 engineering. We're going to combine and grab another wrench here. I will pick up this tardigrade. Again, I'm not sure if eye surgery works with the level 2 turrets, so I'm not going to spend 150 on that. Not going to buy any of these. None of these. Bean Teacher would have been interesting if we'd found it a little bit earlier, so I will just save this money. We'll use our piggy bank. Stepping in all these elite laser beams, which Not exactly the plan. Trying to pull this guy into the middle of all my turrets as well. Though again, I don't think we're getting there on the damage. Which is a little disappointing. I'd have liked to be able to kill some of these elites. Taking 17 there. Dodging that attack. Let's knock down that tree to get us an extra turret on the field. But this is why we built so much dodge as well. We can just tank through these slashes by dodging all of them. Also, we're at plus 100. Plus 1% attack speed. This would be very useful if we'd found the improved tools item. We haven't. I'm just going to recycle it. And here, let's roll. We're going to grab nothing here. Let's roll again. Alright, fine. I'll just take a level 1 max HP. Pretty disappointing, but what can you do? Great shop, though. We can take Ricochet. Wish we'd found this silver bullet earlier. We'll take another Incendiary. And here, I'll finally level up this level 2 Wrench. Although I suppose actually I'm going to buy the recycling machine, which I think will still pay for itself in the last couple waves, and then we'll lock in this wrench. I'm going to check if recycling machine in the wave 18 shop was still worth it. But if we recycle like 2 items, I think it will be. Obviously, this is very late to pick up an economy item, but never let it be said that I let good sense overcome my greed. One thing that I should cover, I mentioned that Finn is a very important item to have access to in your shops. I should probably do a video about which order to play the characters in to get the good items available in your shops, because as you win with each character, you can unlock items, some of which are really nice to have. Whetstone and Finn are 2 of the ones that are really good that you would know about if you haven't won with Speedy, or I think Whetstone is Sick. I'm not 100% sure of that. Yeah, we'll just take 2 max HP for minus 3% attack speed. We don't really care about that. And here I'll just take 3 engineering. Upgrade our wrench, and we'll take this weird food. Looking like the recycling machine is not going to pay for itself, by the way. And I'll grab another potato, sure. And we'll take another gentle alien as well. Let's roll. Sure, I'll lock in another wrench. And, of course, buy a book. I'm so not used to buying engineering items, also, that I have almost certainly just passed, like, books or pencils or something without even looking at them, and people have been screaming at me in the comments. But if you want to scream at me in the comments, please do, because that will improve my YouTube algorithm. So at this point, we're just using our regeneration and our consumable healing, as well as high luck, to cover the map in items, and we can just tank through whatever the enemies are doing. We have very high effective HP because our dodge is capped, and we have okay, not incredible, but decent armor. There we go. Gentle Alien again is always nice, and here I'm just going to continue to take engineering. Still holding out hope that we can defeat the bosses. Let's combine, grab this wrench. Weird ghost, probably not going to take that on the boss round. An explosive turret, on the other hand, that is a very nice one to pick up. Alien Eye is also a little bit interesting at this point. They only do 40 damage, but it is some additional damage, and we have projectile bounce. So, yeah, I think I will pick that up. It's marginal, but marginal upgrades is all we can get at this point, probably anyways. We'll take a little more regeneration, and a little more engineering. Alright, let's go on to the bosses and see whether we can take them out. We do have 90 seconds, which makes it a little bit easier. than fighting the elite waves. And they don't have that much more health than an elite, so having the additional time means that you're sometimes a little more likely to kill the bosses, and indeed it looks like we are on pace to do so. Especially because our damage is going to increase over the course of the wave as we kill trees. Tanked our first hit there. Oop. Stood in all of those, but that's alright. Just focusing on dodging at this point. Not doing an incredible job at it, but we have plenty of health regeneration. And this is why improving our speed was really important as well, because that allowed us to position very easily around those enemies. Alright, well that will do it for the old. We have told all those nasty aliens to get off our lawns. And as always, my friends, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to leave a comment to allow other people to see it more easily, and subscribe to my channel for more class guides for Brotato and other strategy game videos. Cheers, folks, and I'll catch you next time. GG.